Bruins Benders post game live tonight on YouTube. We are live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe and watch us all season long. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. We're all over the place at Bruins Benders. And definitely we appreciate you supporting the show. Tonight, the Bruins fall to the Philadelphia Flyers 2-0 at TD Garden. The Flyers come in giving up 4.5 goals a game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruins cannot get any type of finish tonight. They do carry the play for large portions of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They get some shot attempts. The Flyers block a shit ton of shots, and the Bruins just cannot. And this is what we thought would happen with this lineup, having trouble scoring goals.
Trouble scoring goals. No finish. No finish at all. No finish. The Flyers blocked 31 shots. That tells you all you need to know about effort. The Flyers wanted to win the game. The Bruins really didn't. They kind of, it's been the same story all year long. No real sense of urgency. No real energy. They don't even get into scrums. Like you thought that they would be that team, maybe a little bit bigger, a little more physical, get into some scrums, try to impose their will on people. None of that is happening. So I don't know what their identity is right now. They don't have one. It's of a poorly coached team that can't score and can't defend. That's what their identity is right now at this moment in time.
Yeah, the defense and the allowing players to be wide open in the high slot has been something that's happening all season long. They just not covering that high slot. I don't know if it's the center, if it's the forwards, whatever it is, if it's the defensive coverage and the communication. But that has been poor for large portions of the season already and uncharacteristic of them. You would think that the defensive core would be the strength of the team. It has really not been as strong as we thought they would be. But really, it comes down to there are a couple of wingers short, probably. Again, Montgomery is moving the lines around as soon as he senses that they can't get anything done. But it wasn't that they couldn't. Look, they carried play, and they had, through 2 periods, it was 28-12 in shot attempts. It was 10-4 in high danger chances in favor of Boston. It wasn't that they weren't playing that well or they weren't getting some opportunities. They just can't put the puck in the net. So I don't care how many guys you move around in deck chairs and all that type of stuff. It's not the fact that they weren't kind of fluid in how they were playing. They just couldn't put the puck in the net or decide what was a good shot and wasn't, and get it toward the net, get it on the net, and then get some action in front of the net to get a rebound or so forth. So, you can move the people around all you want. But it's just, and it continues to happen, but it's just like trying to get water out of a rock.
Their decision making is awful. It's awful. So they shoot when they should pass. They pass when they shoot. I mean, watching that 4-on-4 was making me want to blow my brains out. I mean, for crying out loud, they're out there with only 4 guys on the ice, and they can't complete a pass. 4 guys on the ice. I mean, there's plenty of room. What are you doing? How can you not complete a pass with only 4 guys on the ice? And we've talked about it for a long time about them being, a couple of wingers short. I think they might be an entire top 9 short. That's what I think. I think they have one guy right now who could play in the top 9 for other teams, and it's Pastrnak, and he's not even playing well. The rest of the guys right now are useless. Geeky, useless. Frederick, useless. Marchand, scores a goal, but then tonight was fumbling it. Pastrnak, the same play, curling up inside the line, turning it over. Coyle, nothing. Poitras was hot garbage tonight. Like, they don't have forwards who are good. They don't. So that's a huge problem when you don't have any offense on the team and you can't score goals. Having forwards that aren't very good kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. The Ottawa Senators have passed them. The Bruins, as constituted right now, are worse than Ottawa, and Ottawa is going to make the playoffs over this team. They are.
Yeah, right now it just doesn't look very good. I mean, we've done the analysis on forward groups, and just about everyone except for Montreal in the Atlantic Division, had a pretty good forward group, and probably arguably better than Boston's. In Marchand, again, he had the overtime goal to win, but he's been struggling for 40 games in his production. And then you have Frederick and Geeky are two guys who had career years, and then you can't assume that they're going to do that again. I mean, they only did it one time in their lives. So to have those two guys playing up, it's just asking for trouble. And Frederick has gone back to being who he is. He's a third line guy who has to put in max effort to get opportunities to score. I mean, he just has to. Things have to go right for him to score goals and create points. And so right now, Tyler Johnson, I mean, you can say all you want about him, and I'm sure he's probably a little bit better than what they have or whatever, but I'd be really careful about thinking he's some sort of savior. Like, it's just, I mean, he's not. I mean, any other team could have him right now.
Right.
Let's not think that as soon as Johnson gets in there, it's all better. Like, this is an issue that's going to continue to happen as we go forward here, because you have aging guys and you don't have a lot of high draft picks, and I don't know, unless you can get some free guys in free agency to come here. I don't know how it's going to get any better anytime soon.
I don't think it is going to get better. I think they're going to have to, and they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to go through it, but they're going to have to go to the bottom of the league. I mean, teams don't just, lose their core of the team and then just rebound. That's not how it works. Not in this league anyway.
No, I mean, look what's happened to the Penguins. I mean, the Penguins have lost like 6 or 7 in a row. They've got Crosby, Letang, and Malkin that they're squeezing the life out of.
Sure.
It's not working anymore. So, but that's kind of what happens. Like, the Bruins have been able to avoid like a complete meltdown, and have been able to stay competitive and stay in the race and all those things, for quite a while. And that's impressive. But right now, it catches up to you eventually. You just can't possibly do it any longer. And especially when you don't have the picks and you don't have the elite talent. And, you can't get elite talent in free agency. There's not a ton of it available. And you don't have the assets, nor do you want to take the risk to trade for people. So, I mean, where are we now? I mean, that's just the way it is. So, and now the debate is who's at fault. Is it Sweeney? Is it Montgomery? And so forth. But, we talked about it and you tweeted it out today. Like, all that happened Saturday when everybody thought, okay, like this is a season change, early season changing kind of win. And okay, let's get back on track. They come out and get shot out at home against the worst offensive team in the NHL, a team that just lost 6 in a row a while back. Like, this team is not good, and they lose 2-0 to that team just after that. So again, it's going to be the Montgomery's not out of the woods, and now you have to start wondering about the management. I mean, what if they miss the playoffs? Then the management could be toast, because that's the one thing you can't do here.
Yeah, so. I mean, look, there's plenty of blame to go around. It's been falling on Montgomery an awful lot. We talked about it a little bit, in the last post game and the last episode, that I think Sweeney's getting a pass. So, I mean, he should get some of the blame for building this roster that's dreadful. Montgomery clearly not getting enough out of his players. The players aren't starting well for him. They're not, they're just not playing well. They're not playing with energy and a focus and a drive to win games. They're just not. They seem kind of lackadaisical. And then clearly the players should shoulder some of this blame as well. I mean, the leadership group of this team has been bad. I mean, flat out bad. McAvoy's been bad. Marchand's been bad. Pastrnak, although scoring, hasn't been great. And Brandon Carlo is what he is. He's, he gets in an A occasionally, but he's not an impact guy unless he's playing really well defensively, and the team in general isn't playing well defensively now. So, there's there's way too many passengers on this ship right now. I mean, it's the Titanic, and it's going down fast.
It is, and the early season thing. Well, it's early, and the team has to mesh together, and I just don't think the talent is there. It's just not there.
No,
I mean, I mean, Patra's not 100% ready. We started again tonight. Like, he got smoked by Farabee. Then he had to leave for a little bit. He came back, and he wasn't very good at all tonight. And there's times he just gets kind of bounced around, and he could really use, and I know people don't want to hear it, he could really use a year in Providence.
Yeah.
Like, he could really use that, because all the good players they've had have had at least a year in Providence, like everybody. So, except for McAvoy, really, I mean, like everybody has. So it's really a necessity for him. Problem is, they're so thin,
right,
that he has to play.
Right, that's what the problem is.
And that's gonna, and I hope that doesn't like ruin him, or at least like stunt his growth as a player.
Yeah, you wonder if they do somehow bring Tyler Johnson into the fold. Is Patra maybe the guy that goes down?
I would consider it. I would.
And they try to get his confidence back up and going, and hope Tyler Johnson can do something while he's here. Like you said, though, bringing a guy off the street or bringing up a Fabian Lysell, those certainly aren't going to be cure-alls for what ails this team. This team has too many ails to cure.
It does.
There's
It's a boat that has a lot of leaks in it.
There's too many problems. There's too many things going wrong right now. The power plays, inept. The penalty killing's not very good. They can't score 5-on-5, and they're not defending well. Right now, the only thing that's keeping them in games is the goaltending.
Right.
Korpisalo, I thought, was fantastic tonight. And if it wasn't for him, they would have been down 2-0 in the first 3 minutes of the goddamn game. He made like 2 10-bell saves right at the very fucking beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing, boys? Are we awake yet?
Right.
Do they have to, do they have to give him like shots of espresso before the game starts or something? Can we get the guys jacked up? Can we give them some smelling salts or some fucking speed or cocaine? Something. Can we give them something that will get them going?
Right.
To start the game for a change.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It starts with the 5-on-3 early on. After Korpisalo makes like 3 really sparkling saves to keep it with 0-0, they get the 5-on-3. And it's just, it's just horrific. And you talk about decision making. Charlie McAvoy, what are you doing? Like, can you keep it simple, for God's sakes? Like, this power play it's not just now. It has turned into, let's try to find Pastrnak on the left side for a one-timer. That's all they have. That's all they have. So, and then McAvoy is just holding on to the puck. Ty Anderson made a good point. He tried to describe, like, I can't describe it with McAvoy, like, but the puck lingers on his stick a little too much. Like, it just kind of lingers. And I don't know how else to explain it, but I thought that was as good a way to explain it as I could think of. Like, it just a little bit longer, like a little bit long, like just get it, snap it. And look at what Shattenkirk did last year in the short sample size in the playoffs on the power play when they put him on there. They had to dress him and play him 9 minutes just to put him on the power play in the playoffs. And he made simple plays, and it looked a hell of a lot better. Like, just get the puck for the net.
I mean, but that's his problem, though. That's his problem. His decision making is awful. So, it's like terrible. the two times he tried to get the puck on net, the shot was blocked, and he gave up a 2-on-1 and almost a breakaway. So it's not just him getting the puck on net; it's him knowing when to pass and when to shoot, and he doesn't. He doesn't know the right times, and after fucking however many years he's been in the league, sorry, John, he still defers to Pastrnak.
He does.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right.
Everybody on the team tries to force feed that fucking guy the puck. Stop fucking doing it.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then Pastrnak will take it one-on-one into the zone or whatever. Like it's all the Pastrnak show way too much. And in Marchand and Pastrnak aren't a great fit either on the power play together. It's a calamity of errors. It's Keystone Cop sometimes. It's just like it just doesn't work. It just looks like hell. And it's been like that for a while. And I just, for the love of God, just give it a chance with like Lowry there or somebody without an agenda, without indecision, without some preconceived notion of what should be happening. Like just friggin' put Lowry out there. Like just try it, or just go Potter out there with 5 forwards. I don't give a shit, but don't have McAvoy out there. But it won't happen because they just won't. That's a form of discipline to the veteran guys, and the inmates are in the asylum here, and it's just they're not going to put McAvoy off the top unit. They're just not going to do it. They don't have the balls to do it, so it's just going to continue to happen.
It should be Lowry on power play 1 or Lindholm on power play 1, or put the two of them out there together. I don't care. And take Marchand and separate those guys if you want. If you want to put one on power play 1 and power play 2, and honestly, to me, there shouldn't be a 1 and a 2. It should be whoever's going the best gets the minutes.
Just right now, put the guys who gel together.
Minutes.
Yeah, right.
It's production based. It's merit based. If you score goals, you'll get the minutes. If you don't, you sit and watch the other guys play.
Yeah.
That's the way it's got to be right now.
Right.
They have to make some hard decisions. The coaching staff has to make some hard decisions. And I don't think they're capable of it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think they're too, Christ, the guys that are behind the bench, half of them are like buddies with the players.
Right.
It's like, I used to play with Jay Leach or, whatever. I mean, for crying out loud, it's like,
right. It
was like that when Kelly was there. It's like, Marchand joking around. Like, great, but like, how can you discipline the guy when you're like, you played with him and you're friends with him and you won a cup with him? Like, I don't know. It's too much grab ass and not enough like coaching of the actual players.
Yeah. Pat Burns was fired after a 3-4-1 start. I read this. And they put Mike Keenan in. And that I just feel like a Tortorella or someone, or Berube or a Maurice or someone who's just going to get into the guys and be respected to get it. That's the other thing about Montgomery. I mean, when he's getting into guys now, does it carry as much weight as if Tortorella was like, McAvoy, get your head out of your ass?
No,
I mean, honestly, it just doesn't carry the same weight. So, they need a guy. It almost seems they need a guy like that in lieu of trading like some core pieces. They need a guy like that to come in there and say, okay, we're going to change the makeup of this. But I think the management, everything has to kind of go. I think it needs an all new, fresh start, because it worked for a while because they had the right leadership on the ice. They had good players, and it worked. But now that they don't have as many good players, and they don't have quite the leadership, now it's kind of like the Patriots. Like it worked because Brady was a great leader and a great player. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have the same kind of great players and the new breed comes in and they're not the same type of DNA in them, then it doesn't work. So
is there a guy that they could bring in? Like, is there a guy out there who has the respect or would have the respect of the room that is available that you could bring in to coach this team? Because I can't think of one now.
I can't think of a guy, and T-Bus is really hyping up Quenneville. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it just has a history that the Bruins are not going to do that.
Yeah,
especially after the Mitchell Miller thing and everything else. It's just not going to happen. But someone with a more of an old school approach. Someone who has the respect, has been there a long time, like is not going to panic when it's not necessary to panic, which I think Montgomery's done a few times here. So, it just needs I think they really blew it with the Montgomery hiring, I really believe in my heart that if it wasn't Montgomery and if it was a guy with more experience, then they would have won that cup 2 years ago. I
I think,
really believe that.
yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right.
I really believe that. They're up
You,
3 games to 1, and he started screwing with it,
I
and
know.
he got nervous, and
Yep.
I
Is
really believe it.
is is could you hire a guy off of someone else's staff like mid-season? Is that that's frowned upon, right? I would assume.
Typically that's frowned upon, or a guy wouldn't do that anyway. Like, I don't know,
Right.
if you like an assistant or something, like a
Yeah.
Claude Julien.
Yes.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what
I mean,
that's what I was
here's
getting
the rights here. I'll be honest, and people might laugh at this and be like, "Oh, please," but this is the right scenario for like a Julian
Yes.
right now in his career. Like, I wouldn't hire Julian to coach the next 4 seasons or whatever somewhere, but I would on a team that I thought could get more out of itself and change kind of the makeup and what they do. I think this would be the right fit for Julian. This type of team, like, it has some talent. It needs to change to a more defensive structure, more structure. They don't have a lot of offense, so he doesn't give a shit about offense anyway.
Right.
Like, let's win 1-0.
Mhm.
Let's have our great goaltender and get our defense right and get the forwards buying in. That's that. Yeah, Julian would have had Poitras in Providence yesterday. Yes, absolutely. He would not give Poitras any rope at all. And so I think, relatively speaking, I think that would be the right fit for Julian as far as a head coaching gig right now.
I think so. I think it would. I think they need to clean up the defensive zone, and I think that's what he's great at. And I think he could help them there. And I think that's what the strength of the team, not necessarily is, but I think that's what the strength of the team needs to be. It needs to be defense and goaltending in order for them to win games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going about it a little bit wrong right now. I think they're trying to squeeze some blood from a stone, and that's not, and it's just not there offensively. And I think they really need to focus more on the defense and kind of shore that thing up if they want to go anywhere. But I honestly think Ottawa's past them. I think Ottawa's going, and I think the
all
Bruins
right. Yeah, going into the box score, let's discuss one Charles Coyle. Charlie was a -1 today. Had 3 shots that were missed. He did block a shot. He had 1 shot on goal in 22 shifts. He was 2 for 10 face-off dot. He hasn't been good in the face-off dot much this year. He hasn't been good at all. I mean, he had 1 game where he stepped up and he started to play better like last year. Other than that, the other 9 games, 10 games, whatever it is, he hasn't been good at all. And it's a major factor in all of this because he had 60 points last year. He's the second line center.
Mm-hmm.
He's killing them. Like, maybe above and beyond anybody else, because they can't get production in the second line center. Like, yes, Marchand's killing them. But
there's a
Coyle
long list of guys that are
absolutely killing them because their second line center can't do nothing. I mean, he can't play like this. I mean, if Matt Poitras played like that in second line center, then he'd be in Providence. Like, you can't allow this type of play from Coyle, and you really wonder now if Coyle, shot his load, so to speak, last year. And now at 32 years old, here we go. We're going down the river without a paddle. And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's 5 guys on the team that have a plus rating for the season. 5.
Yeah. And typically the whole team does with the Bruins the last few years.
Yeah.
The whole team.
It's the 4th line, Zadorov and Peak.
Wow. So there you go. So your bottom pair
D
in your 4th line. Yeah.
So your top 4D, your top 9 forwards have all been complete trash.
Right. So the top 15 guys have been minus.
Right.
Yeah. That's not going to get it done.
That's great.
Yeah. That's not going to get it done.
That's a recipe for success.
Yeah. That's not. So, you can start with Marchand, I think, at 1. and Hoyle as the second line. Your second line has been atrocious, and your third line is non-existent. So, and your first line does some things here and there, but they could play better too. But Jesus, when your other lines aren't playing at all, then it puts a lot of pressure on them. And tonight was another indication that it's just Coyle's just not right. He's not right now. Let's see who else was in here. We had 7 for 13 was Lindholm from the faceoff dot. 5 out of 9 for Kastelik. He had Frederick had 4 hits. Obviously, everybody's a minus tonight when you don't score any goals. Yeah, it's just not a great. Patra was 1 for 4 on the faceoff dot. He played 13-12 tonight. He had the penalty. What he did stand up for himself, which was nice to see. He had 1 giveaway. You know, the giveaways 3, 6, 8, 10, 11, 15 giveaways, 4 giveaways for McAvoy. 26-23, 26 minutes. See, here's the thing. Like Carlo played 14-52 again. McAvoy played 26-23. Far and away the most minutes of anybody.
That's
on
power
the team.
play time though, too.
He had 4:28 of power play time, which is ungodly too much. But that's just too much across the board. It's right now. It's just too much. I mean, you have other defensemen who are decent. Like at this point, like Pastrnak's the same way. Like why do you continue to run these guys out here for this many minutes? Pastrnak played 22:09. Like Jesus.
I mean, McAvoy had 4.5 minutes power play time and 2.5 minutes shorthanded to go with 19, whatever, even strength. So I mean that it's
power play minutes are way too much.
Oh yeah,
he stinks.
Yeah. I mean, even penalty kill. I mean, I know one of the penalties was Carlo, so that limits that. But Carlo should be out there instead of McAvoy, shorthanded.
Yeah. He yes.
Here's another thing, and I don't know the answer to this. I was just thinking about it because I was thinking about before we came on how McAvoy is really struggling, and I didn't like his game at all tonight. And I was starting to wonder. I'm like, when he was good, a few years back, when did he sign his extension? Has his play has the drop off been since he signed the extension? Like, is he out there because he's trying to do too much because he makes 9.5 now?
Yeah, like, I think there's a tremendous amount of validity to that. Here's the thing: we, as a collective group of human beings on the face of the earth, have overrated him to the point where he makes $9.5 million a year. He's probably a $7.5 million defenseman, so he makes 9.5, and he's the guy. And he made the first. That was the first Bruins contract that was market value after all those guys took discounts. Mm-hmm. And then McAvoy gets 9.5, which right now is too much. So yes, there's pressure that comes with that. And I don't think it's a fact of I got my money and I'm going to coast. I don't think it's that.
No,
it's the other way. I think he thinks he's Cale Makar, and he's not. And like you've said a gazillion times, and we should get his phone number so you could talk to him on the phone. Like, just do what you do and keep it simple and be you, and that'll be good enough. Yes, you're probably still a little overpaid, but at least you're a solid defenseman, which you had been in the past. Be that guy. Like, that's what we not need your fault that they paid you that. Like, but be that guy. Be an $8 million defenseman. Like, be that guy.
Yeah,
be good at it.
I would be perfectly fine with him being a 50 to 50 point two-way defenseman that was physical, could move the puck, strong in his own zone, chipped in, with the occasional points, and played power play too. I would be perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine 100%. With it.
And Shazai says he makes 11.5 this year. We're just talking cap hit, but yeah, he makes 11.5. Yeah, that's ungodly. But yeah, we've talked about Darnell Nurse and his contract, and we ripped that thing. Well, you know what? If I'm an Oilers fan, I'm ripping the McAvoy thing. Yeah, like it's just it's just too much. And I think that he's taken that on as like, I got to do this, I got to do that. And you've seen it in his play. And here's the other thing. I think that the team has said that, and I think Montgomery has said that, so that his game has changed since Montgomery got here. And
100%.
Cassidy left.
100%.
And that's the one thing you can point at with Cassidy and be like, McAvoy was at his best with Cassidy.
Yes.
Not with Montgomery.
No.
So that's a thing. And I don't know where that comes from, or
I think it's too much. I think it's too much freedom. I think it's too much.
Too much.
I think it's too much like
be Ray Bourque. Right.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Cam Neely's comparing him to Ray Bourque. Like there's a bunch of things that kind of set him up to fail there.
It did. Why would you say that?
I know.
Like, why would you say that?
It's maybe the dumbest comment that Cam has ever made in regard to a player on his team. It might be the dumbest thing he's ever said about a player on his own.
Not even close to Raymond Bourque, who was a top 3 defenseman in the history of the league.
I know, but it's not even. It's why would you compare the two? Like everybody knows he's not Ray Bourque, so why would you even say that?
Right.
Why would you compare him?
Maybe physical stature is the only thing.
Yeah, I know, but
he has with him.
That's why it's so ridiculously stupid. It's
and you know what? I would like to see the date of that. Where's the date of that? Because if I'd like to see where his game went after that.
It's completely unfair expectations on him doing that thing. And by the way, producer Connor said yes, the stats, in his play did start to decline steadily on the new contract. So there you go.
That's an article that I need to write, and I'm gonna write a 2,000 word fucking article on what Charlie McAvoy has done since he signed the contract, and why, and who the people are to blame. All right, let's go to some fan comments because they're just churning out. That's what happens when you lose and you get pissed. Ryan Hall, thanks for listening, Ryan. All size, no skill. They show no guts. Lysell and Johnson here now. Max Jones can get lost. Yeah, I mean, Johnson for sure. And you know what? Maybe Lysell, like maybe like you said, send Patra and maybe send I don't give a shit who else.
Well, that's the thing. It's like right now, nothing's working. So try something else.
Try something else. Right.
Sign Tyler Johnson, bring up Fabian Lysell and see what happens.
Right.
Or bring up Vinny Lettieri. Like, I don't give a fuck who it is. Right. Bring up the leading scorer on Providence that's having a good year so far. Bring that guy up, plug him in the lineup, and see what happens.
Sure. I mean, why can't you throw him out there on the third line?
You need a shakeup. You need somebody to realize that things aren't going well here and try to do something about it. Try to do something about the problem with the offense. And it's not, like you said, switching around the deck chairs on the Titanic. That's what's happening right now. It's we're just playing musical chairs with the guys in the top 9.
Right.
Even messing with the fourth line now occasionally to try to find a combination that works. Look, there aren't any. So, grab some new pieces and throw them in and see if one of those deck chairs will work here.
Yeah, I think you're right with Lettieri and whoever.
I mean, like I said, you need a change up. It doesn't matter who it is. I would like to see it be Fabian Lysell because I think he has some, offensive talent. So hopefully he would be the guy in my eyes. But, if they don't want to do that, if they don't want to risk it or, whatever the case, they don't like the kids enough, but, bring up some other guy.
At least with Pastrnak and Lysell as your 2 right wingers, like, at least those are 2 guys who could score at any time. Like they could score.
Sure.
There's a chance that they could score.
Mm-hmm.
T-Boss says, in many, many years, I've never lost respect for Bees players like I have this stretch. Monty has made some questionable moves, but hard to watch a team give up and play with such little effort. We've talked about this for a bit. Like this core does this, like slow starts and, tonight they had the 5-1-3, but Jesus Christ, like you said, it could have been 2-0 3 minutes into the game. Like the Flyers just kind of attacked them, and that's a hardworking team. You said it.
I did.
You said they're a hardworking team under Tortorella. That's one thing they do. They may be bad and they may not do the right things, but they play hard. They do it hard.
They play hard and they block shots, and they did that tonight. 31 blocks
and won the game. Yeah, and they won the game. So that was Tortorella. They came in with a plan. That was the plan. Stay in front of your goaltender and block the hell out of the shots. Take any opportunity and put it in the net. They had one goal essentially, and they blocked a bunch of shots, and that won the game. And that's the recipe against Boston. Like if they don't score, then you can get an opportunity because the defensive coverage is all over the place. So, that's kind of the recipe if you aren't that good. So,
yeah, I just hate the way Boston plays offense. I really do.
It's horrific.
Everybody curl that, like the entire team gets the
curl back
on the board.
What happened to we got all this size and heaviness? We're gonna throw it behind the net and go hit people and wear down defense. They don't play the way they said they were going to when they got all these guys.
No,
they don't play that way. So why did you get these guys?
I mean, that's a question.
How come you're not playing? So that's why
Donald Sweeney.
That's why I think the coach and the GM aren't on the same page. Like Montgomery doesn't want to play that way.
No.
So you get all these guys, and Montgomery doesn't do it. So now you have in between, like you don't even know what you're doing. So
the best the Bruins have played, I thought was towards in the third period the other night when they were mounting kind of a comeback there, and it was like Frederick taking the puck to the net, Beecher taking the puck to the net, Coyle taking the puck to the net.
Brazo,
stop, Brazo. It's like stop curling at the boards and get it in deep, and then take the puck to the net.
Yeah, just use your size.
Yeah, don't half-ass it around the outside. Like take it to the net, or beat your check and go to the net. Yeah, you're gonna get fucking hit. Somebody's gonna hit you. It's hockey. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to be tough enough to handle it. But get the puck there and then have other people go there and try to bang the fucking thing in. You don't have enough talent to dick around with it. You're not Connor McDavid. You're not going to dangle through four guys and score. It's not happening. It's not happening. So you got to simplify your game. Like we've said this all along. They need to play. The entire team needs to play more like the fourth line plays.
Right. And we've talked about this. Shaz Diet says it seems that Monty's only adjustments during a game are shuffling the lines. And we've talked about this. Like, where are the where do I see the physical adjustments and how they play? Like, I don't see it. And you just mentioned it, like the curling back and the everything to the outside. And they said that they needed to get faster. They didn't. They went heavier instead. So when you do that, what are you going to do? We want to play below the goal line. That's what they said. We want to play below the goal line. We want to wear down defense. We want to get to the net. We want to be more active that way. They're still playing the same way they played before they got these guys, which doesn't match up to the personnel. So that's why I think Montgomery's not the guy for the job. I'm not saying it's 100% his fault because the roster stinks. And I don't agree with going heavy like it's 1980. I don't agree with that. But if you're going to do that, you can't have a coach who doesn't do it and doesn't believe in it.
No, I think part of the problem is that they just have players that play a certain way, and it's too ingrained in them now to change their stripes.
It is.
To me, it needs to be a trade. It needs to be a trade to shake up the DNA of the team.
They need to buy into what they've said they would do.
You need to get some people out of here and get some new blood in here that play the game a different way. That's what you need to do.
It does. And Shaz says the power play is too stagnant, not working. Either change the personnel or have someone else coach it because it's not working, and it's not. And it's still like try to get it to Pastrnak for that one-timer, and the bumper now is, pretty much non-existent. Like that was Bergeron's thing. That of course they were two-dimensional. Now they're one-dimensional, and they have a defenseman who just doesn't make great decisions. Their zone entries are bad most of the time. They've gotten a little bit better at that, but then when they get in there, they don't seem to get a clear shot on goal. There's not a lot of traffic in front. There's not a lot of rebound opportunity. It's just it's just it's stagnant and it's vanilla and it's not good. And they need to score on those opportunities because 5-on-5 they don't. Like
No, they're
5-on-5
terrible
they have a bitch of a time trying to get opportunities and score
against good teams.
Yeah, against good teams, 100%. Liam Perkins says, "Why was that?" I said, "Wow, was that third period awful?" Pastor and Marchand turnover machines at the moment. Zadorov and Carlo look lost. Carlo, I think, is starting to get better. Like the last few games, like he's getting a little bit better. But we've said this about Carlo. Like when he has time off, he gets rusty. I've never seen anything like it in any other player. Like he gets rusty, and he needs like 15 games to get himself in a rhythm every other night, 3 games a night. Like, and then he starts to find his game. And beginning of the year is always a little bit tough with Carlo. So I think he's getting a little bit better now. I mean, he's a stay-at-home guy. He's not going to jump off the page stat-wise, except for block shots and minutes played. But his minutes have been down. There were some power play time tonight, so that caused some of it. But there's been a couple of 14-minute games for him. I don't know what that's about, but Peak is playing 17, 18. He's playing 14. I don't know what that's about, but Peak has played okay. So
Peak's played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Peak has actually been the most consistent defenseman, I would argue.
Yeah,
that they've had.
I thought Zadorov tonight actually was decent overall. He still gets caught up a little bit, and I don't know if it's just effort or because he's not that fast, but him getting back to the front of the net after he kind of gets out of position a little bit, whether it's chasing somebody up the half wall a little bit.
Right.
But I thought overall he seems to be kind of finding his game a little bit, which I think the team definitely needs.
Yeah. Pejman says the team is a wet fart. 2 shots in the entire third period when trailing the entire time is fucking pathetic. Apologies to John. That's true, though. That is true. I mean, they go through it. At one point, it was about, 9 minutes left. They had 1 shot on net in the third period. Like that should be a period. That Flyers team sucks defensively. Sucks. The worst team in the league defensively, gives up 4.5 goals a game.
Yeah.
You should be coming out in the third period at home after you just won Saturday, and you're still kind of need to win string games together here because you're not out of the woods yet. So this is a game where you take the third period, you score 3 or 4 goals, and you bury them. Nope. They don't even get shots on net.
Throwing everything at the kid, everything at the net.
Everything
at the net.
Double shifting guys and everything, but nothing. So
just not no urgency, no shot attempt. I mean, just
no.
It's really, really frustrating to watch this team right now.
It is, and I just think that they don't. I think you have a little bit of a problem here with the older guys who've been around and the guys who were brought in play different styles or are expected to play different styles. Like the younger guys, that's why the fourth line does well. Like they have a job to do and they do it. The older guys are just a little bit stubborn, like you said. Like they're going to play the same way, and they're not going to play the other way. So you're in an impasse here with the roster. It's just like some guys are doing this, and some guys are doing that.
I think that's what I mean. I think you need a DNA altering trade. I think you need to shake it up. I think you need to get some guys in here that play the way you want them to play. Right. Get more buy-in if that's what it is, and get some guys out that aren't bought in, that don't buy in, that aren't playing the way you want them to play. Plain and simple.
I would see what I could get for Charlie Coyle tomorrow. I would. Like I would see, because the handwriting's on the wall. Like this is a part of being a GM that you have to have some foresight and say, you know what, this isn't going to get better. It's going to get worse. So stay the same. Like he's 32 years old, but he has experience. He has a lot of playoff experience. He's done fairly well in the playoffs. Someone might want him. Someone might want him for a third line center. It rejuvenates him. And, maybe that's something you do, but I think you make a concerted effort to at least try something like that, because right now I just don't think it's going to get any better. And he's not a second line center. We've said this a million times. He's a really good third liner, really good. Second line, nope, just doesn't work. That's his ceiling. Rob says, "How do you spend $400,000 to the cap and suck this badly?" I mean, that's certainly something, a topic for discussion. Like you spent to the cap, and you have this many holes. Like, again, I'm going to say it again, and it's not hindsight because I said it then. Like, do whatever you can to get Gensel or Marchand or some winger and screw the center for a bit. Like, you're not going to get a center you need. The center you need is like a top line, highly skilled playmaking center. It's not available. So go get the winger who can score 40 and put him with the other winger who can score 50 and then figure out after that. Like, get the best available player.
Yeah, I mean,
do what you need.
I've been saying that all along.
And but no, they chased the center position and they couldn't quite get the center they needed. They took the best available, which is not good enough for what they need. So screw that. Get Gensel instead. Like, throw some money at him. Like, really go hard at him. That's what I would have done. I mean, it's just you don't get it because you need a center. Like, it doesn't mean he's good enough for what you need. Like, that just irks the shit out of me. And we'll see it when he play with Gensel is where the hell's Gensel now?
Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see that a few times. Savior Cross says it's really annoying. It's not Don. It starts with Monty. I think there's some issues I have with Sweeney and what he did in the offseason. But I will say that if I had to say it, it's like 60-40 Monty to Don. Like, it's Montgomery is still responsible for the bad starts and the effort and the inconsistency and the knee-jerk reactions and kind of if he's talking about the team's attitude and confidence level, like, you have two jobs as a coach to begin. Okay, put your players in the position to succeed and make sure the confidence level's high. If you don't do either one of those, then you're not doing your job as a coach. Far and beyond everything else.
Yeah.
So, if you're saying to, like, I would never as a coach say to anybody, boy, we just don't play with any confidence. That means that they don't think they're prepared and they don't think they can win, or they don't think they're at their best, so they've been put in a position to succeed. That's what it means. So you're throwing yourself under the bus by saying that. So don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Just say we're going to work through some things. We're going to grind it out. We have good players. We're going to, say it in other ways that pumps up the confidence, but don't come out and say it that they don't have any confidence and their attitude, sucks. Like, that's your problem. That's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, coaching is clearly an issue. It's clearly an issue, but let's not take Sweeney off the hook because he was $22 million under the cap and spent to the cap, and then said the roster was still unfinished. Mm-hmm. So that shouldn't be the case. If you have that kind of money to spend, you shouldn't have an unfinished roster. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't. Mm-hmm. So that's bad general managing. So, and this roster is a poorly constructed roster. You have an entire team of spare parts and fourth line guys. Uh-huh. Where's the actual talent?
How are you better with? Okay, this is a question. Are you better with Lindholm centering Zacha and Pastrnak, or are you better with Zacha centering Pastrnak and Gensel?
Option 2.
I think so.
Wink.
I think so. I think so 100%.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
Gensel, by the way, 9 games played, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points, +5.
Well, he'd lead the team in both those categories right now.
He has a power play goal.
That's another thing.
Taking a ton of shots and is not shooting well right now. So when he starts shooting well, the puck's going to go in.
Yeah.
And then
he'll score 35, 40 goals. Probably. He 100% will. Pejman says the leaders on the team are leading only in turnovers and stupid plays. Absolutely nothing from the top guys. And the power play can kiss my ass. and I think that that's true. I think it does start with the top guys, and you can really question the core of the team in those guys, whether or not they have it. They have what it takes. Did 2019 really like do some serious damage to those guys?
Yeah, I mean, it might have. It did some serious damage to me.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So
did it damage McAvoy and Pastrnak? It might have.
I mean, it maybe.
Yeah.
It might have. It might have. Because this team, this core, going back to Chara and Bergeron, like they've never really been great in game sevens. They've never really been really good.
Yeah.
When the pressure is on them.
Yeah. Sticks get tight. Yeah.
When the pressure is on these guys, they don't necessarily respond well.
Right. In fact, the only time they did was they beat a team they know they can beat in the Maple Leafs. Like other than that,
they beat the Leafs.
Right.
But even in in the playoffs, in the Stanley Cup, Tim Thomas was out of his mind. But even then, they went back to Vancouver. Vancouver was favored. The Bruins were supposed to lose that game. Even though they won here convincingly a bunch of times. Vancouver was the better team on paper. Vancouver was supposed to win that series. The pressure was not on the Bruins. The pressure was on Vancouver. You know?
True. They weren't supposed to win that game.
They weren't supposed to win.
No.
When the Bruins are supposed to win, when the pressure is on this team and these guys, they don't perform well.
I'm
100%
with you. I'm 100% with you.
And it's gone back a long time. A lot of game sevens at home here.
It's a thing.
Choked.
Yeah.
So it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Maybe they have too many of those type of guys on the same roster.
Maybe.
And maybe it's time that they cleared some of them out.
2013 Game 6, they choked the lead away. 2019, they should beat the Blues. That's laid up for them. They beat them 5-2 in St. Louis in Game 6. Like it was all set up. Stinker. They lose Game 7 at home, which you can't do. You can't lose that opportunity. And they did. And then the 2 years ago, it's like you're up 3-1. Like what pressure should not be on you at all. You just crushed them in Florida. This should be a win. And you come back and switch the lines and do all this funky shit. Why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I feel like Montgomery does that a lot. Like the whole, I'm not going to tell you who the goalie is, and I'm not going to tell you who this guy is in or that guy is in. I got news for you, Jim. The other teams scout every one of your players. In fact, they might have a person in their organization who focuses on each fucking player you have. So, not telling someone that Justin Brazeau is going to play second line tonight instead of Max Jones or whatever is not moving the needle. Like it's not going to, oh Jesus, Justin Brazeau, we didn't see that one coming. I mean, that old gamesmanship and that all that shit, that just tells me you're not comfortable just squaring up and beating this team. I've got the game plan. We're going to beat you. No, you've got to do all this other bullshit first and then hope that you surprise them.
Yeah.
Into beating them.
It goes back to the confidence part. It goes back to the confidence part. Are you confident enough in your team to just say, these are my 4 lines, these are my 3 pairs of D, and this is my goaltender. We're going to line up and we're going to fucking beat you. We're going to smack you in the mouth and we're going to beat you.
Right. That's it.
We're going to out physical you, we're going to out tough you, we're going to outwork you, we're going to out skill you, whatever the case may be. These are my guys, and we're going to win.
Yeah,
that's kind of how Paul Maurice is. I feel like in Florida, he's like, this is my lineup, these are my guys. Good luck.
He's 100% confident that he's going to beat the Bruins. It's just he's got his guys, and they win. I mean, they played with 11 forwards for a couple of weeks there and won games, so I just think that whole thing is just weird. That just shows you there's so many things he does that just shows his inexperience, and it's just dude, no one can say that to him. Joe Sacco's been there for 11 years, whatever the hell it is. You can't say to him, "Hey, Monty, like, you don't need to do that shit. We got it. Like, we got it." So to me, if I'm a player on the team and my coach is, hiding guys at Dunkin' Donuts so nobody sees they might be in the lineup tonight, then that just tells me, like, what are we doing that for? Like, we can't beat them. We have to like surprise them into beating them.
I think it
Like,
trickles down.
like
The the
it's just
the
silly.
message of that, the message of, it needs to be an element of surprise in order for us to win, trickles down. That's got to filter down through the team at some level, whether it's subconscious or not. The players must feel that, I think, to a certain extent.
Right. Dan, they didn't score on the 5-on-3 early in the game because, again, poor puck movement, didn't move it quick enough, poor decision making. Philadelphia blocks 31 shots on the night. Like, it seemed like every time the Bruins would turn down a shot to actually get into a blocked shooting lane and then try to fire it then. Like, it was ungodly, unbalanced, and it seemed like there just wasn't a lot of rhythm to the game anyway. It was kind of a choppy kind of game. But damn it, like, that's how Philadelphia has to play against you, because
they just
not very good.
They just don't have poise with the puck. They just don't.
No, they don't. They don't.
I mean, even Pastrnak, like, the puck comes back to him. He's got a bunch of options, but the one that he chooses is to try to saucer pass through the slot where there's 6 guys to Marchand, and it hits somebody, and they get a clear. Like, it's just dumb shit like that. Like, you could pass the puck to 4 other. You could have gone 4 other places with it. That would have been a successful play that would have kept the puck in the zone and kept the pressure on Philadelphia. But you make the one play that you can't make. It's the same with McAvoy. It's like, at the end of the game, you could have done 3 or 4 different things with the puck, but instead you try to fake the guy out. You turn your hips and then you swivel and you try to throw it back against the grain, and he reads you like a glove, steals the puck, and goes in and scores on an empty net. It's just dumb shit. They do too many boneheaded things. They have a team full of guys that just don't value the puck, and they make terrible decisions. Their hockey IQ as a team is awful. It's awful.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think it was Shaz Diet who says his fear is that they fire Montgomery and then hire Joe Sacco. And I think what's going to happen is, if you remember, Cassidy was hired as an assistant for Julian, and then Julian was fired in February, and Cassidy became the coach. I really think Jay Leach was brought in here because they kind of had a foreshadowing, like, this is what we're going to do if we have to do it. And I think Jay Leach is the next guy. I really do. I think it's the same situation. Cassidy came in with Julian, lame duck kind of thing, and then Cassidy takes over. They did the same thing with Jay Leach. They'll do the same thing again. And at some point this season, Montgomery will be let go, and Leach will be the coach. If that changes anything or does anything, I have no idea. I don't think so, but we'll see. But it can't be Joe Sacco. It just can't be. I mean, he should have been fired from his assistant job 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
so it shouldn't be him. But that's.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be Leach, and I think you're right. I think they did bring him in for that reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I hope it changes something. I hope it does, because it would be much more fun to have an actual hockey season instead of watching this, garbage every night. Yeah.
How about a point guard? Point guard chimes in with Michkov. How about Matvei Michkov? Quite a talent.
Yeah,
like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the Bruins just aren't having those.
Top of the draft.
Yeah, I mean,
Bruins don't pick there.
You can't get Michkov. You can't get Adam Fantilli. You can't get these guys. Like, so they're gonna get, like, you have to squeeze everything out of Matt Patra. And you can see why Patra's not Michkov.
No,
like, you can see why.
That's the thing. I mean, if you look at the talent on the good teams, it's top of the draft guys. All those teams went down to the bottom and sucked for a while. Colorado, like McKinnon, Makar, like top picks.
Right. Yeah.
McDavid, top pick. Draisaitl, top pick.
Yeah, everybody. McKinnon and for everybody.
the Ottawa, Stützle is a top pick. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
One of the only guys on the Stanley Cup winner in the last few years is Braden Point was like a third rounder, and he's a great player. But that's such an exception. Like the reality is,
Kucherov was a second rounder, wasn't he?
Yeah. The reality is those guys hit on those guys, but the reality is that it's a lot more rare than.
Yeah, I mean, Bertrand and Krejci were second round guys.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. It's rare. It's
Yeah.
rare that you find a guy like that.
Matt Papa says, why are we not taking shots from the point? Not only on the power play, but in general, we have zero traffic in front. I thought that the defense was going to be more involved offensively. I thought they were going to get more chances. I thought they were going to get more pucks toward the net, through onto the net. And he's right. They don't get a lot of greasy goals. There's not a lot of opportunity for them. And they have the size. Some of those guys can really thrive, with getting rebound goals and greasy goals and activity in front of the net. They don't do it. It's outside. Everything's outside, turning back, turn it over. Like, it's just lose the puck. It's just, or take a shot that gets blocked because you haven't moved it quick enough to create any space.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. I think they have a bunch of guys that don't really know how to play in front of the net.
Yeah. Well, they don't teach it. They haven't done it.
So
a while.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. There's certain guys who can get to the front of the net, and you're like, why is he open all the time in front of the net?
Yeah.
There's certain guys, they can spin off checks, or they'll give a guy a little shove in the small of the back to create a little space when they know the pass is coming. There's subtle little things that you can do in front of the net to get loose to score goals.
Pat Maroon did it a million times.
They don't have guys like that. They just don't. They don't have. They just go and stand there, and they're like, "Oh, I hope the puck comes to me."
Yeah, they don't have any plan.
Or they get so in tight to the net that the goalie kicks the rebound by them. It's like they don't have any kind of spatial awareness or any kind of feel near the net for like soft spots, or like, I'll go behind the net and come out the other side, and maybe there'll be a little opening here. They just don't have a feel for it. Their hockey IQ, like I said before, I don't think it's very good. I really don't.
Ann says they suck this year. She may be right. She may be correct. We'll give it a little bit more, but it could be heading down here. Russell Dahl says the biggest thing I've noticed with this team lately is passing has been atrocious. I'm with you, Russell. It's a subtle little thing that I've noticed too. Is that they're passing not tape to tape. Oh, tell everybody what you found the other day on a video from a few years ago about 3 passes in a row.
Yeah, so I was actually scrolling through Twitter, and I saw a guy who used to scout in, I believe it was the Western Hockey League, and he was talking to somebody who ended up being a college coach, and they were talking during the game, and the college coach said, watch for 3 passes in a row. And usually when there's 3 passes in a row, there is a scoring chance. And he's like, no, come on. But if you watch
tape to tape 3 in a row.
Yeah. And there's 3 tape to tape passes in a row, going like entering the offensive zone, usually it's a very good scoring chance. Like not just like a flip from the point, like a very good scoring chance. And so I would just suggest that Bruins fans watch that for the, while they're watching the Bruins, and then watch other teams that are good at offense, and you'll see the difference. And it's alarming. It really is.
Yeah, but it's true though. It's just something that this team just can't do. It just hasn't done. And some of it's the center play, some of it's new guys, some of it's not being prepared in preseason. There's a lot of things going on there. And then the shuffling of lines, like Shaz Diet said, like the constant shuffling of lines. How are you going to get any rhythm with your teammates?
Yeah, and then I think it goes back to the way you play offense too.
Yeah, the way you play offense. Yeah. Alex says, what's going on with Marshy boys? Here's the thing, Alex. If someone said to you, this coming year, you're going to get 2 hip surgeries, and then the following year, we're going to work on your groin and your abdomen and your elbow. So 5 surgeries in 2 years, and you're 36, and then we're gonna have you go out and play hockey 20 minutes a night for 82 games against some of the elite talent in the world. Would you be excited about that? No, because I just think that now it's just there's only so much. I mean, he's got a motor, and he's highly, his effort is high, and that's why he's great. That's why he's great. He's like the Julian Edelman of the Bruins. Like, he is small. He's a Dustin Pedroia. God help us. I can't stand him, but he's that ilk. He's just like not shouldn't have been super talented. Shouldn't have. He's a 3rd round pick. People didn't want him because he was a pain in the ass. Like, he wasn't going to be anything. First 20 games of his career, he had no points. Like, he was going to be a grinder at best, like a Trevor Kuntar. Like, he was going to be a borderline guy, and he turned into maybe the top 5 player in Bruins history at the end of the day. But at 36 and with several surgeries, you just can't keep going on when you're a human. You just can't. And I'm telling you, we're seeing the beginnings of the end. So when they say 3-year extension at blah, 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 it goes up my spine. Like, and I like the guy. Like, of course.
Yeah, I love him.
I like the guy.
I love him.
But for God's sakes, if they do that, I'm telling you, you are gonna rue the day. Everybody on this comment list is going to be screaming 2 years from now that why is he on the ice making $6-7 million a year or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, if they do that, it's lunacy.
Yeah. It's like that speech from the guy in Rudy. He's like, you're 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, and you don't have a speck of athletic ability. But yet here he is. It's because he's competitive as hell. He works his ass off.
Yeah.
And that's what made him into an NHL player. And then he was one of the best left wings in the entire world for, a 3 or 4 year stretch there.
Yeah.
Up around 100 points all the time. I mean, he made it. He turned himself into that. He made himself into that. But eventually all that wear and tear and surgeries and hockey. I mean, they've been in the playoffs basically every year he's been here. That stuff all adds up. That's a lot of mileage for a 36-year-old guy.
I mean, I don't know what we expect.
5'8",
Jesus Christ. Like, right. The playing time, I agree, Alex. Like, why are they giving him 19, 20 minutes? Like, why? Right. Like, by the time 82 games come, he's going to be luggage. Swayman's going to be luggage. He's going to be luggage. Pastrnak's going to be luggage, playing 22 minutes a night. Like, McAvoy's playing 26. Like, they're all going to be toast by the end of the year anyway. So what the hell? Like, you're not going to beat anybody anyway. You're not going to win 16 games in the NHL playoffs after all these guys play all these heavy minutes. Like, it's just not going to get it done. So they're so weak and so such a lack of depth in the forward group, especially, that they have to play. I mean, who the fuck else is going to play? I mean, they just don't have any talent beyond that.
Yeah. What I wouldn't give for Claude to just roll 4 lines.
Yeah, just roll 4 lines for
like 5 or 6 games in a row. Yeah. Just roll 4. Just keep the lines the same and roll them. Yeah. Just
and maybe it clicks. It worked for him.
Yeah, just roll them. Maybe maybe get some, pick the line combinations you like best, Monty, and stick with them for 5-6 games and just fucking roll them. Give everybody fucking 15 to 17 minutes, depending on power play or whatever, and just roll the lines and see what happens.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just let some guys develop some chemistry, please.
For sure. Alex, appreciate the comments and you're watching tonight. And then Matt says they had a chance to learn from JVR last year, but they misused them. JVR is with Columbus and actually has a couple goals. I mean, he's done okay with it. Actually, Columbus is a surprise team. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if the Bruins play Columbus tomorrow, I wouldn't watch the game. Like, I just wouldn't watch it because it's 6-2. It's just like 6-1, whatever it is. Like, that team's playing. It's flying around. And they got a bunch of young talent, doesn't know any better. I mean, that's a fun team to watch right now. FUN fun. But
Senators beat the Blues tonight, by the way, 8-1.
8-1 Senators over the Blues. And that's what you said. You said Senators are better. They just scored 8 goals. Yeah. So you know what? I've been saying all along, there's no way the Bruins are going to miss the playoffs. Now I'm getting a little nervous. I'm already getting a little nervous because Buffalo's playing better. You know, Ottawa's playing well. I don't know.
26 of 27 for a 963. And Stützle had 4 points. Brady Tkachuk 2 goals. Josh Norris a goal. Claude Giroux 2 assists. Drake Batherson 2 assists. Yeah, they have more talent than you.
Yeah, they do. All right, so Thursday night at Carolina, 7:00 start against the Hurricanes, a team the Bruins have not had a great history against, especially there. Playing against a team that, again, the heavy forecheck, good forwards, good group. And what's your prediction for Thursday?
The Hurricanes are coming back off of a long road trip.
Okay.
So that is the one thing in the Bruins' favor. It's not enough. Hurricanes are going to take that one pretty easily, I think, because the Bruins still have giveaway issues. So I think I'm going to say 4-1 Carolina.
4-1 Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-1. I'll go 3-1 Carolina. I think the Bruins will score 0 or 1. I don't think they're going to score a bunch of goals. I think this is right now they're going to go into just a real drought offensively right now. I really do. It all signs point to it. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, but
me too.
It looks like it's going to happen. And this is a bad matchup Thursday.
It is
to play at Carolina. Anything less than at Florida, I mean, it's similar. So this is not a good one. So hopefully we're wrong, and hopefully we're back here Thursday night and talking about a huge win, which they need desperately. We appreciate everybody's comments. Definitely check us out on the YouTube channel and subscribe. We will have some videos on there coming up soon, and we also have an episode that's dropping Thursday morning early, our weekly episode, where we'll talk about a lot of the things we talked about tonight in more depth and more angst and anger and rage. And, hopefully the Bruins get a win on Thursday. So until then, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.